It's Kris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Ooh, hold on, y'all. Hey, it's your boy Kris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and hot topics. So that's the show for you. Definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today. And some of them topics we got up in here, we got Loren LoRosa from the Breakfast Club, got herself a new gig under Charlamagne. I wonder how Miss Jess not Larius, is feeling about it. But we're gonna talk about it. Plus, SZA is pitching herself to play a character in the MCU. She wanna play a superhero. We're gonna talk about it. Plus, speaking of superheroes, apparently Marvel is worried about the Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars because the Electric State did poorly over there on Netflix. We're going to talk about that. Plus, John Chu is giving an update on his Britney Spears biopic because a couple of girls that have names have been thrown in the hat. He's saying, we haven't come to the decision yet, but we're going to talk about, that tea. Plus, Shawn Mendes slid up in the Bad Bunny's comments after he dropped them, not salacious, them steamy underwear ads for Calvin Klein's. We're gonna talk about it. Plus, Miley Cyrus, that flowers copyright that she got with Bruno Mars is not looking good for her on her end. Plus, some good news for Diddy. We're gonna talk about it. Ben Affleck is opening up about his marriage to Jennifer Lopez in the new interview with British GQ. He also opened up a little bit about playing Batfleck in that whole situation and why those movies he feel like didn't work with him being a part of it. So we're gonna talk about that. Child, Teresa Giudice out here yet again caught up in a tax situation. So we got to talk about that. Plus, we got a Beverly Hills housewife leaving the franchise at the end of the season. We got to talk about this Palestinian filmmaker who was attacked by Israeli settlers. And detained by the military. So we got to talk about that. Plus, Elon Musk's trans daughter Vivian still going in and have on her dumbass father. So we got to talk about that and a whole lot more. Oh my God, I just realized I got my other window open. And I think finally I figured out how to make the damn stream key work over at Instagram. After been doing it for so many freaking times, I finally figured it out. So I'll check in every now and again to see if people in the comments over there. And that lasts about an hour. So once that's done, I say like you can come on over to my YouTube channel and watch the rest of the show because it's not going to be an hour show. We don't never do a 1 hour show over here. First of all, the topics I be talking about and the way I got to break stuff down, it ain't no hour tea that I be spilling. So or it's not all going to be squeezed of an hour. Speaking of which, I know y'all probably hear it, but I am under the weather. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, this cold or whatever creeped up on me. My nose was running and scratchy throat, all this other stuff. I was going to be like, I ain't coming to work today, but I had to go to work earlier. That's why I'm doing such a late show because I was at work earlier. So, y'all just gonna have to bear with me. I was gonna come into this job, the second job. I wasn't gonna clock in today. I was like, I'm probably gonna lay up in the bed, just watch some TV or something, and just try to get over this sickness. But I was like, I said I was gonna do a show. Got to come in now. It depends. Tomorrow, it may be different. If I feel any worse, I may have to take the day off. But for the most part, I think it's this weather. It's the spring. It's one day it's 50 degrees, and it's 40 degrees, and it's 65. Then I was like, okay, y'all need to like figure it out. I've been sneezing all over the place. Like I've been just a bit, and I feel a sneeze coming down. Hold on. Lord. But anyway, I'll get to the comments right after I get into the after the first topic. But in the meantime, if you can please do me a solid, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll also be putting timestamps throughout the show once the live stream is over, so that way those who come in and watch the post show, once the live stream is done, you can go and click on to whatever topic that may tickle your fancy. So without further ado, let me hit my banner. Let's get into this. Tell you about Miss Loren LoRosa. Now, y'all already know the story about Jess not Larius, went in and got all upset and was airing out her grievances on social media and then brought it to work the next day where they had to hash it out over her discrepancies with the Breakfast Club, all the other stuff. I did a full breakdown of it. It's like 40 minutes. If y'all want to check out the full video and my overall thoughts, you can go and watch that segment, which is on my YouTube channel. preferably after I'm done with this show, because I got new stuff to say. So after all of that, and it seemed like everything is copacetic between everybody, at least on camera, now comes word that Loren LoRosa is getting her own show, and it is going to be up under iHeartMedia and Charlamagne's little network that he got over there called Black Effect Network, which I think I heard stuff about it, but I don't know many of the things. I think what's her name? Flame Monroe, I think, has something on the Black Effect Network. Who y'all know? Flame did come up on in the chat one time when I was talking about a hot topic about the it was a trans hot topic, and Miss Mamas was up in the comments. Y'all seen it? But anyway, so according to SZA, after making waves with her sharp commentary and inside scoops on Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club, Loren LoRosa is stepping into her own spotlight. Now known for her standout segment, The Latest with Loren LoRosa, the rising media maven is expanding her empire with a brand new daily podcast of the same name, set to launch March 31st on iHeartMedia and Charlamagne the God's Black Effect podcast network. From viral buzz to must-watch TV to Hollywood headlines, Loren is bringing her sharp, unfiltered voice directly to your earbuds every single day. With a resume that includes the creation of Brown Girl Grindin', along with stints at TMZ, BET, and Fox, and all the LMNOPs that they got up in there, Loren has built a loyal audience that counts on her for fast, funny, and fact-based takes on what's trending. Now, with The Latest with Loren LoRosa podcast, will give fans even more access to her unique POV in bite-sized daily episodes that deliver the news with clarity, edge, and heart. You know, all the things that just he not hilarious couldn't do over there because that dumb bitch can't even read. So now they got to actually have somebody who got some literacy that actually surpassed the 5th grade, that actually knows that reading is fundamental, not for the mental. And she can get up there and actually give you all the celebrity news gossip and bring it to you because she actually does the research. And I said that the reason why, I don't know, you know, why I get why Jess he not hilarious was having her grievances over there, because I feel like the people behind the scenes should have been upfront and honest with the fact that you want to know something, y'all thought based off of clicks and likes or how many fans that she got over there that follow her on Instagram. I heard she got like 9 million followers or whatever, but here's the gag. Just because you have millions of followers on Instagram and on whatever social media platforms that you currently reside on does not necessarily equate, that does not transfer to ratings for a radio show, a movie, a TV show, whatever. Because I don't know, a lot of people out here thinking, oh, and we've seen this, where y'all go and y'all snatch up some personalities or whatever, like a TikToker or whatever, and y'all think putting them in a movie is gonna sell tickets, and it doesn't, because quiet as it's kept, Gen Z don't even care about like movies and TV and stuff like that. The younger generation, they relate more with watching stuff like what I'm doing. Like they like YouTube shows, they like podcasts, they like, you know, like a lot of the visual and the listening. So like with Spotify and YouTube, whatever, they watch more. I'll even say it myself. I tend to watch more YouTube now than I did back in the day. Back in the day, yeah, because I grew up on movies and TV and things of that nature. I tend to watch way more YouTube, and I pay for a lot of streaming services. I watch more YouTube than anything, and YouTube is free. Make that make sense. So I've been here watching a lot of YouTube. I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff over on Apple and Spotify and things of that nature. So it's always, so that I think that's where the tides is turning. So yeah, just because Jess He Not Hilarious has a bunch of followers over on her social media platform does not mean that she was bringing a lot of those people over there to the Breakfast Club. And as y'all was paying attention, that a lot of times people was like, I don't know if this is a good idea that y'all got her up in here. She can't read. She don't seem like she want to come up in here and actually take the time to do the work and the research that goes into doing these shows. It's the same thing like when I'm doing my show. When I'm putting all this together, y'all, you don't realize, like, behind the scenes, yeah, they got producers, all this other stuff that's like, okay, these are the topics we're going to talk about. This is what you need to brush yourself up on, so that way when you come in the next day, you're at least well-versed on what's going on. When you a party of one, like me over here, I got to put a show together. I got to come up with the hot topics. I got to sit and read all the stories that I got up in here. And on a win and a prayer, thank you, Lord, I got the brain that I got, because when it comes to me with these stories or whatever, I read it and then I'm very good at analyzing and observing and actually breaking down things when it comes to based off of what is in the article and what they not saying that I can actually pull and be like, well, I see what y'all trying to say, but you're not really trying to go there. So let me go there. So it's a little dance that we all have to do in this whole situation. And I think that with just He Not Hilarious, she thought that she could just go up in there and be like, oh yeah, I got the job. I fought for the job. Okay, well, when you fight for the job, it's kind of like when you get married. A lot of people want the pomp and circumstance. They want the big wedding. They want the big reception. They want the gown. They great gowns, beautiful gowns. They want all the pomp and circumstance, all the shenanigans and everything that comes with that. But y'all have to realize that after the marriage comes the work. You have to continue to work at the relationship. Hence, the same thing with a job. Once you get the job, you still got to work to maintain, the job. You don't just go and be like, okay, I got the job now I could just rest on my laurels and just like wing it. And that's what I think was frustrating a lot of the Breakfast Club fans. They're like, this chick don't even be doing research. She don't be paying attention. Like you literally, damn, who was you like the Black Larry King? Because remember how Larry King would just come up on there and just be asking. I'm like, did you do research on these people before you had them come on your show? He used to irritate me with his interviews. So I know like Larry King's an icon, but the fact that he never really did research on the people, I'm like, what kind of question is this? Like, how do you not know this about this artist? The hardcore fans know it. And she said, and the artist be saying it many times in the interview, but you ain't bothered to take the time to do the research to find out about the artists when they come in. Like, it's just weird to me. So I just felt like she was half-assing it. Then when they brought Loren in, everybody was like, oh, we like Loren because she actually does research. She actually knows, and then gagged because Wendy Williams, when she had her last interview, she didn't even acknowledge Jess He Not Hilarious. She acknowledged Loren. She acknowledged Charlamagne. She acknowledged Envy. But they didn't acknowledge Jess, probably because she found more entertaining things to do while scrolling on Instagram than actually coming in and actually doing a job. So you just want to collect the check without doing the work. So I like this idea with Loren LoRosa getting her own podcast. I don't know if she'll still be working with the Breakfast Club and all that other stuff. We'll have to see how all that is once past, the 30th, which would be like, I guess, April 1st. We'll try to see if she's still there or is she going to take more of a back seat. I personally think that with all of this other stuff going on, Loren could still have her own podcast, but I also think that she should still be a presence on the Breakfast Club, and they need 4 of them up in there. I don't like the idea of the 3, because if y'all go back to it just being Jess He Not Hilarious, DJ Dingbat, and for Brains Envy, and then Charlamagne dunce behind because he be acting like he just culturally clueless about every goddamn thing. And it's like, sir, you too damn old to be trying to act like you don't know what the hell's going on and trying to play obtuse and a lot of things because he like doing that too. And like I said with DJ Envy, first of all, he older than me, but I'm September 2nd, he's September 3rd. I don't understand how you were early Virgo and you becoming all like the dingiest, baddest of Virgos I've ever encountered. So I'm just like, you ain't no real Virgo. You got to be something else because you embarrassing us with the way you be acting on TV and some of the stuff you be saying. So with all that being said, I think I read everything. Oh, well, she said, well, besides me going on my little rant, I should read the quote of what she said. So she said, pop culture moves fast, and I want to give listeners a smart, fun, straightforward, and most importantly, an informed take on what's happening every single day. Whether you're a pop culture junkie or just trying to keep up, this podcast is your front row seat to the conversation on what's happening. And I like that idea because I feel like what she does is similar to what I do, which is when I come on here, I want to give y'all something that's smart, fun, straight and to the point, and well-informed. So I always try to come with the receipts and all the information that I can gather and take my time breaking stuff down. I'm not trying to do all this little TikTok mess where, oh, you're going to get all the information in 30 seconds. That's not really breaking down or getting to the root of the situation and the nuances of the story. I want people to actually get the information, but I'm not going to deliver it to you like Sade Battering-Wah or some freaking Brian Gumble. I'm trying to think of these are reporter names. or or Don Lemon or whatever the case. Well, Don Lemon's different. Now he's no longer part of CNN. But I'm not trying to give it to y'all like Miss Joyanne Reed and all that other stuff. I'm trying to give it to y'all like how a regular person would give y'all the news, but just entertaining. So I'm with you, Loren. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out your podcast when it comes around, and I want to hear from you guys. And also, do y'all think it's kind of shady that Charlamagne decided after all that mess that they was going through behind the scenes that he's like, okay, bitch, now I'm gonna show you with that man voice you got that while you trying to play us for a fool and embarrass us because you wasn't woman enough to come to us with your grievances or go to HR or come with the producers, whatever, pull us to the side, us have a meeting instead of inviting the entire world into the group chat. That I'm like, I'm gonna fix your illiterate ass and I'm gonna go and give Loren her own show. So you think it's like, while it's good for Loren to move on up to the east side like the Jeffersons, do you feel like that it was also shady on Charlamagne's part, or he had this in the pocket the whole time? But I think it was a little shade thrown in to get back at Jess because of that mess she pulled last week at the Breakfast Club. Or do you feel like it's just coincidental? All this just so happens to happen. I think it's the former, not the latter. But I would love to hear from y'all what y'all think. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Okay. I was like, I'm trying to see if well yeah, the Instagram is on. I'm like, why is it frozen? Anyway, let's look over and see what people are saying in the comments. You said any thoughts on 22andMe filing for bankruptcy and potentially giving away millions of people? Yeah, you know what? I do not like this at all. When I saw that article yesterday, I'm sitting there like, so do we not have a say so in all of our personal information being given away? Like, this is like people's genetic data, like stuff about what your genetic background and stuff is. And now that this place is going bankrupt, now all of our information is just going to be given away. So it kind of makes you feel like this. To me, it's no different than like, when we sign up for a Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever the case is, and they always talk about how they be trading our data and giving away our personal data. Like, how you giving away my genetic data? I need to find out more information on what that is. I'm like, can they go on out and start using our genetic data and creating like these Resident Evil type clones or something? Like something like that. Child, not Nikki. Husband getting sued because he keeping his payments not in courts to Huff, aka being his wife's manager and his nanny. Not the nanny. Well, I definitely got to read up on that. Magical Mermaid is in the building. You said 3 hours minimum. Oh, you talking about my show? Joe's in tight. Thank you, because it's like I told you I'm under the weather today, so I'm trying to fight through all of this to give y'all a show. Like I got called creepy by someone in the comment section of a post about Madonna's new interview with People. They acted like I had inside information. I just said things any real fan knows. Wait, what inside information about what? About her children? What's in here? When did you hear people try to make negative comments about her black children because they went back to Malawi? So I said, well, look, them kids got better care than your kids will ever see in their lifetime. So why you hating? Yeah. Oh, you say yes, it's shady. He hardly even promotes Flame and one of the things about Charlamagne is so damn phony and performative. I don't particularly care for him. And I feel like he's another one like Andrew Scholes and the rest of them. They go where the money reside. Oh, I'm seeing I see Lanier looking up in the Instagram. Why is it frozen though? I'm not gonna end it though. I'm gonna just leave it. You said not 23 and me, Raccoon City. Like I was saying what the kids had done on tour and that Madonna encourages her kids' passion and support. Well, a parent should encourage their children. I would think that Elon's song. Oh no, that was so cringe. When I was watching, I saw not my brain starting to hurt. And that's what I mean. And why all them Christian videos all sound alike? It was like that was the mess that they was playing at Trump's rallies because he couldn't get none of that other music license. Yeah. That's why I said I don't really be watching the Breakfast Club like that. Like I used to watch it back in the day when Angela Yee was on it, and every now and again I'll check it out. depending on who's on it. Like, I wanted to watch that interview with Felissa Rashad, but I was like, all them three idiots up in that room, and I'm sure Jesse Man Not Larius was up in there too. So I was like, I'm not gonna have this is y'all idiots sit up in here when y'all got TV and theater royalty up in there, and she trying to drop some jewels and knowledge. I was not watching. So I don't really check out their interviews like I used to, because, and also it was embarrassing because when you have their political figures and stuff that be coming on there, like Jasmine Crockett, and then they had Kamala Harris. Like, when y'all be having these people on here, and it's like the way y'all don't be asking the right question. I was like, I'm not gonna sit and watch these idiots. Not when it comes to important people coming on and the questions that need to be asked. Yeah, I did see that Bob the Drag Queen was on Sherry. I didn't watch it. I do have it saved to watch, but I'm gonna watch it. Also, sidebar, speaking of Sherry, did y'all hear that tea about her and Nia Long getting into it, and the fact that Nia Long grabbed her on the red carpet? I think it was on the red. No, I don't think it was on the red carpet, because we didn't hear about the red carpet. I think it was backstage. So Nia Long apparently, I think when Sherry was talking to somebody, I don't remember who it was. She wasn't saying who it was, but the sleuth was sleuthing and said it was Sherry and Nia Long that apparently had a little situation. So she turned Sherry around like she gave a twirl, do your thing on the runway, according to RuPaul. So yeah, she turned her around, and then she was just like, "Oh, I heard you've been talking mess about me and all this other stuff." And she was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't be talking mess about you." I think it was because she was going through a thing with her in her relationship, and we all know Sherry Shepherd is like apple pie. She's safe. She is the antithesis to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams ain't give a good goddamn, because one thing for sure, two things for certain. Nia Long would never have did that to Wendy Williams, because Wendy Williams gonna sit up out here and tell your business and dare you to come up in her face, because she'll read you right down to the floor. And she been in many fights with many celebrities. Now, check that old situation where she almost got into it with Angie Martinez over there at Hot 97. But anyway, so it wasn't really her, because I saw another clip that somebody actually put together, and it wasn't her. It was Al You Doing Messy Ass when he was over there on TGIF, and he had said that, oh, she needed to just look down and eat her food because her man been cheating on her, some other mess. And Sherry was basically just giving her words of encouragement, because look, Sherry been through 2 divorces, she been in 2 messy marriages, 1 child she don't even acknowledge because the man went and used her eggs or some other mess. I think he pulled the thing that, what was her name? Sofia Vergara was doing. Remember when Sofia Vergara eggs was tied up in that situation, and she was going back and forth with the ex-husband who wanted to use the eggs and have a kid. So yeah, that was the best. Gossiping, probably. Sherry does live. Yeah, she do live shows. She do live shows just like Wendy, but she didn't really say nothing negative. It was the fact that I don't know where Nia Long got her information from, but you know how some people are out here. And there was a celebrity, I forget who it was, that said, "Oh, I know how y'all be sometimes, where y'all always be up in the comments, like being messy and stuff, or whatever the case may be, when it comes to y'all be spreading misinformation." So I think that's what it was. She probably heard it from a third party, didn't even see what Sherry said. Heard, oh, Sherry talking about you, and they get you riled up, and ain't nothing happened. She need to go after that Star Jones ex closet homosexual husband. Yeah, yeah, child, last night. Well, I didn't see it last night. The funny thing was, I was so exhausted last night. I was like trying to catch up on stuff after I did last night's show. So I had missed out on Funky Dineva's show on Thursday, because I don't think he does Friday shows. So I was catching up on Thursday's show yesterday. Then I was watching another show, and I'm like, oh my God, this damn podcast today is so damn boring. So I was going to go in, and then I realized, I looked at the time, it was like 2:00 in the morning. I said, you know what, let me get my mind right. So I threw on some RuPaul's Drag Race, as I usually do, to help me like calm down wind down. But this morning, when I was on my way to work, my friend DJ Baker sent me the clip of Funky Dineva reading Tasha K down to the floor on his show yesterday. So I was like, damn, when I was actually about to turn that episode on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch it today. So I'm going to watch it later on after the show. But I saw the clip. He was like, if I see you the next time I see you in these streets, he said, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. When he said that, bitch, I gagged. And then he said, and then after that, I'm a mollywop your husband in so many words. And I was like, yeah, go after him. Go after Trashy K. Go after that big back McGilla gorilla looking bitch, the one with no fucking neck and the back the size of a lamb linebacker that Nene Leakes trash ass just interviewed on her talk show last week. Because she had Carlos King, and then she brought out that ugly bitch over there in Atlanta, which I turned that off. I was like, I don't like her. I don't like how she moved. I don't like how she be talking about people. She always going in on Funky Dineva, and she always goes in on T.S. Madison. People who don't even give two shits and a fuck about her, but this bitch always got them in her mouth. So I was like, I don't like her. But I did see that clip, and I was cackling. And rightfully so, because some of you bitches need the shit slapped out of you. Trust and believe. I don't give a fuck what your gender is. And that's me coming from New York. We do a lot of shit different up north, as y'all like to call it, than y'all do down in Atlanta. You will get slapped. No, I did not watch Hollywood Demons. Like I said, it was just too much happening yesterday, so I didn't get around to watching it. Queens will hold on to it and let you have it when they see you. Oh, they don't know. So they think they exempt because they're a woman. I was like, no. You want to come for us, forgets? We will mollywop your ass like a forget. Since y'all want to sit up here and say we want to be all kinds of woman and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna show you a woman, bitch. And I'm gonna get my bulldagger friends to beat your ass after I'm done with you. Shout out to the lesbian. You know, I got a lot of stud friends too. So, and I was cackling. I was like, Funky, I'm glad you decided, because I keep telling y'all about this. When they go low, we go high mess. He always try to take the high road with stuff. And I'm just like, for what? These hoes ain't gonna learn until you put paws on their ass, because they think they exempt. But anyway, enough about all that mess. Let's get into the rest of our show. And let's talk about Miss SZA, who wants to play Storm in the reboot of X-Men for the MCU. And y'all can let me know what y'all think about this. So, I did not see the movie that she did, One of Them Days, with Keke Palmer. So, to be honest, I can't really judge her on her acting. I've never really seen SZA act. So, I'm not necessarily feeling this choice. But if y'all like it, I love it. So she basically told recently, I think she did an interview with, I almost said Sherry Shepherd. No, she did it with Screamer for Hudson. So yeah, she went and revealed on Screamer for Hudson show that she wants to play Storm. Because Screamer for asked her about her future acting plans. And said that she could even envision her in a superhero flick. She said, you know how Storm has an origin story? Like, she comes from this whole other place where it's like a jungle. I think that would be so gnarly if I could be Storm. In an origin story, I would love to bring the range. And, you know, we already had people who played Storm in the past. We had Halle Berry. We had Alexander Shipp, you know, who also played Aaliyah in that biopic that Wendy Williams was behind. We still, I love you, Wendy, but I still ain't forgive you for that mess. But, and in so many ways, didn't they kind of give Storm a bit of an origin story, even though it felt a little bit throwaway-esque? She got her story, but I do feel like Storm needs her just due. And I would say, look, when the time comes where they're looking to cast actors for the X-Men movie, and whenever that's going to actually happen, whenever Kevin Feige's plan is to bring the X-Men franchise into the MCU, hopefully it's soon because it's been too damn long, quiet as it's kept, I'm actually looking forward to, like, leave it open. Let people come in, let them do their, be it in person, a chemistry test, or, you know, they could just do film film the audition at home and send it in, or whatever the case is, and we'll see if she's up for the task. Because, like I said, I don't necessarily know like what her acting range is. I don't know if she's a good actress. I know she does love movies. I know she does reference a lot of films in her music, especially on her latest album, which she had Kill Bill. Like, what was that? Of course, that was based off the movie. So, she's a cinephile and she does love and appreciate films, I would say give her the chance. If she doesn't ace the audition, then we'll see. But I don't think they should like deny it because she's a singer. Look, y'all be letting all these other nepo babies run around here getting films handed to them on a silver platter. Especially when you got two nepo babies on the new season of White Lotus. You got Patrick Schwarzenegger and Alessandro Nivola's son is on there too. I think that both of them are just like they're brothers and they're fucking each other. Oh, y'all don't know about the incest storyline over there on White Lotus? I was like, surprise. I mean, that's the big thing everybody's been talking about, the big incest storyline over there on White Lotus. But yeah, and Alessandro Nivola, if y'all don't know who he is, he played in Face Off. He played the brother of uh Nicolas Cage. He was also most recently in one of the worst, well, not one of the worst. It was bad, but it wasn't one of the worst films. He was in Kraven the Hunter. He played the villain. So his father, his son is in the show White Lotus, the new season 3. So they said SZA's love for the genre has been well documented. She played DC's Catwoman opposite Jason Bateman's Batman or Bateman, and that was like in a State Farm commercial for the Super Bowl. She's also floated the idea of playing Storm while chatting with Yahoo Entertainment about the ad. And technically, she's already part of the MCU, having performed the original track All the Stars with Lamar for the 2018 Black Panther soundtrack. And they also said that she spoke to Entertainment Weekly about her fondness for the movie Kill Bill in 2022, revealing that she even digs its antagonist Bill, played by the late David Carradine, saying he's super complex. I feel like he doesn't understand why he did what he did. He's void of emotion, but he loved the bride so much that he couldn't stand her to be with anyone else. That was really complex and cool to me. It's a love story. Oh no, he totally understood why he did what he did. The fact of the matter was he was in love with the bride. He felt like if I can't have you, nobody will. And he wanted her to be a part of the Vipers. And when she tried to break free and when she got pregnant with his baby, remember she told Bill it was his baby before he shot her in the head. And, all of that other stuff. So as I said before, I would like to I say give her a chance. I don't necessarily know if she's going to be able to pull it off, but I say, you know what? When the opportunity comes, audition. But to be honest, I'm still going with my choice, which is Jodie Turner-Smith. That's who I want to see play Storm in the MCU. And speaking of Keke Palmer, since we talking about her, I actually would like to see Keke Palmer. I'm still standing on business in regards of I truly would love to see Keke Palmer play Rogue. I know everyone going, she Rogue is a white girl. Well, she is. You can race swap her. There's no cultural, any kind of thing that's binding Rogue down where she has to be played by a white girl. She's a Southern woman with superpowers. So you can have her, you can put on a little Bonnie Raitt wig on top of Kiki head and have her play Rogue. That's my choice for her. But I don't know. We'll just have to see where they're planning on going with this franchise in regards of X-Men. But I want to hear from you all. What do you think of this story? Do you think that SZA would make a great Storm? Or do y'all feel like, as a lot of people have been saying, let's make it about color, we would like to see Storm played by a Black woman, like someone who is chocolate. Stop with these racially ambiguous, beige, fluorescent beige, a little light-skinned Black women playing Storm. I want some hot chocolate up in there. And my hot chocolate, as I said, is Jodie Turner-Smith. So let me know what you guys think of this story. Or I was going to say Lupita Nyong'o, but I don't know. Do you think she might be too old to play her? But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, all right, all right, all right. See, now Ron came up here and literally said what I was saying. Lupita Nyong'o should play Storm, so I guess to you, she not too old. Amanda Sternberg? Really? You want her to play her? I mean, I don't know. Would y'all be as less mean to her as y'all was when she was in the Acolyte? Because y'all dragged her down to the floor when not y'all, but a lot of people dragged her down to the floor when she was cast in the Acolyte, which I was just like, y'all need to just relax. This season of America. I know they got Brian Luttrell's son on there. I still don't care about American Idol. I'm like, who still watches American Idol? But I know they got a lot of Nepo babies on there. I will say this. I just knew about Brian Luttrell. I did not know that Carney Wilson's daughter was on it. But wasn't that the recent episode they did that they had that? This is what I feel like our world is becoming. I feel like we're becoming like this. Okay, now this is the generation of Nepo babies that before it was celebrities, and now it's just like the children of celebrities are now the new it celebrities. Kiki Palmer will be better than. Yeah. I was like, Cleveland, where you been? I haven't seen you in here in a minute. SZA did surprisingly well one of them days. I don't know if she's Storm material, but she definitely has a promising career as an actor. Yeah, I don't think nobody's going to give her that big of a tent pole, especially since at this point, we've all been crying that we want Storm to have a much significant role in these movies. I be feeling like they have wasted the heck out of Storm in so many of the X-Men cinematic films that it's just like, I would love for her to have a significant, and we need an actress that has a lot of range and bite to be able to pull all of that off. So, I don't know if I want SZA in that. I always saw Lupita playing Storm as well, but they wouldn't do that since she was in Black Panther. I mean, we've had one celebrities play multiple superheroes. Like I always go back to Chris Evans, where he basically played Johnny Storm. And he played Captain America. So it's possible they could recast and have her in something else. I mean, what is going on with Black Panther 3, by the way? No, not Willow Smith. The Caucasian Lotus. Not the Caucasian Lotus kind of has the gay says tease. Child Tiana Taylor going through it with Iman Shumpert right now. And isn't she, first of all, isn't she hunting? Isn't she hunting Green Lantern? Over there, you know, the one from Lantern. I'm like, first of all, they look alike. I couldn't get through the Acolyte. Although now look, I have to catch up on Daredevil. They dropped 2 episodes tonight. Well, it's 6:00, so it's out now. But yeah, they dropped 2 episodes. So I got a lot of episodes to catch up. I just binge watched Reacher the other day. So I'm only got 1 episode left, and that's the finale, which airs this Thursday. I had to catch up with a whole lot of shows. I'm so behind. Doesn't have the Senate to get the necessary of 60 votes. Oh, you had a visitor. Was y'all hunching? You know, I'm nosy. Regina. Yeah, I like Regina King. First of all, you know what? I'm still mad that they canceled Watchmen, and I loved him on that. It's like anytime we show any kind of show where we show Black people like rising up and in a positive light, y'all be ready to cancel our shows. Because when they did the whole Tulsa massacre, bitch, let me tell you, I was so glad that they put that in the show. And then Lovecraft Country, that's when we first got to see Jonathan Majors. I was upset they canceled that after 1 season. And you know, I love me some Journey Smollett. So that was another reason why I love that show. But then they canceled that after 1 season. We can't never have nothing, right? But we get like another damn, but let them, you know, but we get another season of Power because apparently that's the way they want to see us. They want to see us as a bunch of gangbangers and damn drug dealers and prostitutes. Looking at Billboard 200, Gaga is out of the top 10. Even my charts page I follow is saying pop stars need to push and promote. Yeah, I got to be. I don't know what Gaga's out here doing right now. It's like, yeah, you got to be out here consistently promoting. Oh, I was gonna say I don't know what she's doing. She probably rehearsing because she about to do Coachella soon and all those concerts that she got coming up. Speaking of which, I just found out today that that there's gonna be 2 Blackpink shows at Citi Field. So they're New York Stadium dates, and you know they do sell out stadiums. I already know. One thing I will say, I love the K-pop kids because they're the nicest and they're the friendliest. So you don't have to deal with no drama when it comes to the K-pop fans. It's free falling. Selena Gomez will have the Hot Shot debut at number 2. I still have not listened to her album yet. How is it? And I actually like the stuff with Miley Cyrus, what she putting out. Wait, let me not jump to that yet because we got that Miley Cyrus story coming up. Like the whole talk we were having about Beyonce and how she hasn't had any promo for her last few albums. Yeah, that would have actually been cute if she would have did like if I'm doing she could have did Club Renaissance, which there was a Club Renaissance where people were doing pop-ups and they were like dancing to her music. They had the horse and the disco and all this. I'm like, I would have that would have been perfect promotion. I would have been showing up, hanging out with the fans. I would have gave the fans like all the people that would have bought tickets to that. It's like y'all get a show. Y'all get I get to key with the fans. We get to hang out, drink parties. So I get it. You got kids, you got a husband, you got other stuff, but um, you want to. I feel like when you ask your fans to be spending so much money to actually listen to your music or buy your music or your merch or whatever, you want to come up with ways to make them feel like you appreciate the fact that they go out of their way to spend their hard-earned money to support you and your lifestyle. But a lot of these artists out here don't be giving that. They just think like, well, I'm gonna just put stuff out and they gonna buy it. Okay, sis. And she do give that we're beneath her. And that's one of the things I don't like. And from one Virgo to another, that's sometimes we do get and we do get all up in our nose up in the air about stuff, but I be feeling like she be giving that too. She doesn't like doing interviews. She can't control the interviews after the Tyra Banks and today celebrating her Grammys. She looked over it. Well, I guess when people start putting that stuff in your head where they call you the queen and you run around like on this whole other plane, I mean, that's what you get. That's what you give it back what people give. But anyway, let's move on. And let's get into this MCU story. So you already know the Russo brothers are about to direct. I think they're doing principal photography in the UK for Avengers Doomsday. So when they're sitting here talking about that Marvel is worried about Avengers Doomsday, I don't know if this story is necessarily true, but we'll entertain it because apparently after the poor reception of the Electric State, they're saying that the MCU or people behind the scenes, Marvel and all of that, is pretty much worried that the movies that y'all might not come out and support the films, whatever the case was. So according to Comic Book Movie, they said Marvel Studios hasn't had the disastrous few years some would have you believe, but the multiverse saga has been undeniably hit and miss, which has been a complaint overall on this show, as y'all know. For a time, Kevin Feige appeared to be going all in on Rick and Morty writers, shaping the post-Infinity Saga MCU. Jeff Loveness was tapped to write Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, while Michael Waldron looked set to take charge of Avengers: Secret Wars. Fans and critics alike didn't appreciate Loveness's work on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, me being one of them. I hated that movie. Waldron's approach to, and sidebar, someone had the nerve to say in their comments, and I was like, lies. They tried to say that Thor Love and Thunder was better than Ragnarok. I was like, I don't know what the hell you smoking, but you need to stop them drugs because ain't no way in hell Love and Thunder was better than Ragnarok. You need to check your eyes and see if you got cataracts because that's a goddamn lie. So, but if you like it, I love it. But I disagree vehemently. That movie was just bad. And I'm so mad that I went to the theater to see Love and Thunder on one of those. I forget what it's called, but they have it in Regal where it's like the screen. You have like the screen in the center, but then it also projects out certain sequences on the side of the walls and all the other stuff. So I was mad that I went and I paid for that movie, and it was just not good. And those stupid sheep noises, and it was just basically Kevin Feige got blamed for not railing or reining Taika in because you let him off the leash and he just went completely left with that film and just it didn't work in my opinion. So they said that Walter's approach to the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness also wasn't well received. He later learned his contributions to Loki season 1 were overstated. With that, Feige took a different approach and turned to the Russo brothers. The filmmakers delivered 4 critical and commercial hits with Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame. They also needed Marvel as much as the studio needed them, as their non-MCU work hasn't been hugely successful. And that is true. Because I was going to say that now I can understand that why everybody is all up in arms saying like, well, yeah, how is it that y'all hired them to come on this movie? Now, everything post Endgame, they've done The Electric State, The Gray Man. There was another movie, I think it was called Cherry with Spider-Man, Tom Holland. So they've done a couple of movies and they've been okay. And I think a lot of people say that the movies just lack substance. That a lot of what they do is it's visual, it's all style, but there's no heart. There's no substance to a lot of the movies that they do, which kind of makes me think that maybe the reason why, it's because they said this also. They said now, while some HBO produced features were a success, Extraction and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I did like Extraction, with Chris Hemsworth. I like those movies. I've also said that they should have been released in a theater. Everything Everywhere All at Once, they were pretty much producers in name only. They didn't really do anything creative from what I've heard on the film. They're just so happen to just be like, okay, their production company just put their little stamp on the film. But they didn't really do any producing per se. They just get a credit. So yeah, well, like I was saying, like with Cherry and the Gray Man, Electric State, pretty much, the reviews are pretty much either mixed or panned. So Electric State actually, has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's been called slop, and based on unofficial viewing figures, is far from a hit on for Netflix. I heard it's not even in the top 10. That's how bad it's doing. And here's another thing. Netflix, y'all some damn fools. Because here, in addition to these, this goes to show who is running the finance department over there at Netflix. Because in addition to them giving the Russos $320 million to make this movie, first of all, who in their right mind would give that kind of money to anybody to make a movie? And why would you even need $300 million to make a movie? But also, did you hear the story about Netflix gave this guy money to make a series, and he basically took the money for kickbacks and all kinds of other stuff. So he was up there buying all kinds of luxurious things. I'm like, do y'all not pay attention to who y'all giving money to? Like, what kind of deals y'all doing over there at Netflix? And they wonder why 90% of their movies are shit, but their shows are good, but their movies are crap. Because it's like, y'all just throwing away money. Well, shit, can you give me some of that money? I mean, I'll make a movie for you. I went to film school. So if y'all giving away money that easily. So I feel like the question remains, so why is it that I can see why they're worried, but I don't think they're necessarily worried, because here's the thing, what I think with the difference between when you let the Russos go in and let have on their own movies, and it always comes across that it's style and no substance, versus why their movies actually have the heart and the substance and all the things that you would expect a Russo brothers movie to have outside the MCU to have, versus when they're at the MCU. I think it's because they come in and they're the hired help. Kevin Feige already has an idea of what story that he wants to tell, what direction he wants to go in, especially when it comes to, with Doomsday or even with Secret Wars. He has a team of people who he has that can put all that together. All the Russos have to do is come in and just direct. I don't think they have as much control as people think that they have. I think in television, if you're a showrunner, if you're doing that sort of thing, you have way more control there than you do as a filmmaker in in a major studio. Now, if you're independent, that's different, because that's small potatoes, and you do have a lot more creative control, and your vision is what it is. But I feel like when it comes to Disney has their specifics on where they want to go with certain things. Yeah, things have been rocky, whatever the case that may be. But now that I feel like Kevin Feige does have more of a say so in what he's, now that Bob Iger's gone. I mean, not Bob Chapek, not Bob Iger. Bob is still there. That Bob is still there. Now that Chapek is gone, now it's just sort of like, Kevin Feige is back to getting the train back on the track. And he's got his ideas, he's got his vision, he's got the writers that he wants to be like, this is the specific ideas, this is what we all came up with, make it work. And then I'll get the script, we'll decide what we want and what we don't want. And just have the Russos come in and just, manage. Like a manager of a restaurant or whatever the case, and they come in and they just do whatever. So I feel like that's probably the reason why their stuff is successful there. So I don't think they have anything to worry about, especially because of if he knows what he's doing, well, if you got Kevin Feige who knows what he's doing, and he's got them coming in and being like, you know what, we did some stuff together, and now we're going to come in and do that. Then I think that's what that is. So with them up in here trying to say that they're worried because other films have been crap, I don't know if I believe it. But they said it's a simple fact of opportunity, really. This is what Marcus really said when he declined an MCU return. When we started HBO, part of the imperative was let's look at things to adapt, ideas of our own. By luck of preference, I wound up with a whiteboard full of things, 2 series of books that we had optioned, a spec script, about 3 or 4 other ideas for a TV pilot that were there to be written. Sidebar, I forgot, they also have that spy TV series that they were doing over on Prime Video, and I don't think those were pretty good. I know they did one, they spun it off in India, and then they did one in Paris, and there was one in the future. I was just like, these are not good shows. They even did one that was an American, I can't not remember the name of it. And I wonder what they're referring to. And they said that this was prior to all that avenging coming into the horizon, but it got to the point where it was like, look, I need to grow these plants or they're going to die. And Marvel is extremely full time. And so I just said, let's just everybody be under the understanding that this is what I'm doing because these movies need a brain on them. They need a guide, and I love them. So when it came to avenging time, you don't avenge part-time. You don't do anything Marvel part-time. That is a years-long commitment. And yeah, so when it comes down to it, they're going to be filming those Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars for like the entire duration of the year. They're going to start out, I'm sure, within the next month or two because now they're doing principal photography. And these movies have to be out. One of them has to be out in 2026. And then we get the other one in 2027. That would be Secret Wars. That comes out May 2027. And then you get Doomsday May 2026. So it's literally in May, but a year apart. And they're filming them both back to back. So it does take a lot of work. And now that you can get a $300 and something million budget for it because you're filming 2 movies and you're going to split them. Like kind of how they did Infinity War and Endgame. You don't give $300 million for one damn movie. But I ain't the one that's got, running the studio and may end up with broke or trying to do a tax write-off or whatever it is y'all going to have to do when y'all realize that ain't nobody going to go to the box office and pay for the movies. But I say all that to say, when y'all go and spend all that damn unnecessary amount of money like y'all did with the Electric State, maybe you would have gotten a little bit more had you put it in the theater. But Netflix is not, and Chris Sarandon's over there at Netflix is not interested in doing that. He thinks he's being revolutionary, but it's like you're just burning away money. And we don't even know what the numbers and the data is regarding how these shows and these movies are actually doing on Netflix. Y'all just placing stuff on these charts and we don't even understand what that means. But it ain't my company. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think there is some truth to the fact that Marvel is worried about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars because the Electric State is not getting the greatest of reviews? But I'm like, look, they run a tight ship over there at Marvel. They know what they're doing. A lot of the people that come in with their direction, whatever, they are a hired hand. And Kevin Feige is the one who I believe is making all the decisions in regards of this is the story we want to tell. We just want to find the best directors for this project that can actually bring these visions to life. So that's what I think on that. So let me know, and I don't even think that, look, Avengers is not going to flop. A lot of the comic book nerds and everybody is going to come out and want to see this. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So we got a lot of comments, so I got to go right on up. You said the criticism is fair, but their Marvel films are best of all. I did read if Superman flops, the DC Universe is bust. Word is Warner Brothers protest is happening over the alleged sale of the Looney Tunes franchise. Well, that's dumb. Why would they protest against that? I heard that, what was that, Catch Up Films or whatever is supposed to be trying to buy up the Looney Tunes. And I think they were behind the people who did that horrible, oh my God, what is that damn Hellboy? I think they did that movie. I was like, oh my God, this movie is boring. I had to turn it off. It was on Hulu the other day. So I was watching it. I was like, the effects look cheap, but it's animation. So I don't think it'll be too bad for that. Now, I did hear some story that's floating around that they're going to that during Minecraft, they're actually going to release 5 minutes of footage from the new Superman movie. I'm like, is this a way for y'all to get us to go see Minecraft? Because that movie looks bad. And I don't give a good goddamn how bad I want to see Superman. There's no way in hell I'm paying a full ticket for some Minecraft just so I can see 5 minutes of Superman. Because quiet as it's kept, I would not be surprised. I would just wait until somebody records it, leaks it on social media, and I'll watch it that way. But then again, I don't want to watch that way because it's going to be the same way that y'all do with concerts. Because I remember when I was working the Disturbed concert, somebody was like, seeing that you going by basically what you saw on YouTube. It was actually a better way of seeing it. Like it comes across better in person. And I always say that with any kind of event. You're not going to get a feel and the true essence of something based off of looking at somebody's recording off their phone on social media. It's not the same vibes. It's not the same energy. It's not the same effect. You have to actually go and see it in person and make up your own mind. So regardless of what happens, I'm going to see Superman. I don't think Superman's gonna flop. They definitely gonna have to go hard on promoting it, but I'll definitely check it out when it comes out. I do want to see Superman. There's so many good movies that's gonna be coming out in the next couple of months. The movie industry is struggling right now, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do in regards of once we get to the summer. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of movies coming out during the summer, so the movie theater is gonna be packed and busy, depending on the subject matter. They know the brand, help build the brand. That's what I said. They'll just be the hired hands coming in. It's not like the Russo brothers have full creative control and a say so. They're coming in to direct the films based off of whatever the vision of this current phase is going to be. Selling the Disney characters like Mickey Mouse, Zaslav is very disrespectful as Looney Tunes built Warner Brothers. He feels David is over his head. Well, the word on the street is they talking about David Zaslav might get a promotion at another. Well, not David Zaslav. They talking about moving Peter Safran for a different position. That was another rumor that was going on. Strange Madness director did very well. Well, that's Sam Raimi. I mean, Sam Raimi's been around for 100 years, but I like parts of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but I didn't like it fully as a movie. I did like Shang-Chi. I'm hoping that with um oh my god, what is the director? The director that did Shang-Chi, he's supposed to be directing another superhero movie, right? Um I hope he incorporate. Is he directing Secret Wars? I need to look into that because I thought that it was. They said that the Russo brothers was doing both, but then I forget what the director is. But I'm hoping can we get a Shang-Chi too? Like it's been too damn long, or we gonna have to wait about as long as when y'all put out the Blade movie when we're actually gonna get um you know did you like Gen Z Millennial article on preferring content creators influence? I don't know if you came in late, but I did bring that up in one of the topics. I mean, one of the earlier topics. Well, I was talking about like a lot of people don't really watch TV and stuff like that. They're watching more or less content creators than anything. The last Black Widow was pretty good, and Last Guardians was great. Did y'all hear that Amanda Seyfried was supposed to play Gamora and she turned it down because she said the movie was going to be terrible? She thought the movie was going to be bad because it was about a talking tree and a talking raccoon. And she read the script and she said this movie is going to suck and it's going to kill my career and it's going to kill Chris Pratt's career. Then she saw the movie and was like, oops. But I totally get it. It's like you reading the script, it's like, this sounds dumb. And if you don't follow comics, you're not going to really get it. But, and not a lot of people were not familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. It was a huge risk. And look, the movie came out, we all loved it. I love the whole 80s vibe of it and the whole cassette tape and all this stuff. Like it was just nostalgic in a lot of ways. And even though I don't particularly care for Chris Pratt's personal beliefs with the church and all that other mess, like he's doing that stupid app like Gwen Stefani's doing. I hate sometimes when I'm watching like YouTube because that freaking commercial will pop up. So, I don't particularly care for him. And yeah, he's married. Speaking of which, he's hunching and married to Patrick Schwarzenegger's sister. So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's his father-in-law. So, Catherine, that's who he's married to. So, I mean, I like his political beliefs, whatever, but you saw what happened with his career. But funnily enough, Chris Pratt's career has not been able to have the same amount of success as he had with Star-Lord, which goes to show that, you know what, maybe it's like you're not a movie star, you're not, movies aren't like how they used to be when we were growing up. We had like A-list stars, like we had Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and Denzel Washington. Like you would see these people and they would be like the movie stars, like their name alone would sell a ticket. Now it's just like, okay, because you're part of the MCU, people went to see the movie because of that. Chris Pratt is not a box office draw. Speaking of which, and speaking of other Chris Evans' wife, Alba Batista, she's in that new movie with Samara Weaving. I forget the name of it, but I think she's playing a star, some celebrity, whatever. And this guy breaks in her house. He's like a crazy fan. And then the girl that kind of is just as kooky as he is, that's Chris Evans' wife, Alba Batista. And Jack Nicholson's son is playing the damn nut. So, oh.